Over the last decade, South African entrepreneur Elon Musk has confirmed his spot as one of the most groundbreaking and unique businessmen of the modern era. From his innovations with Tesla to colonizing Mars, it looks like there's no stopping the CEO from achieving his dreams. Welcome back to the Money Bracket. Today we're going to take a look at 10 business lessons from SpaceX and Tesla founder Elon Musk. Be sure to stick around until the end, and remember, if you like what you see on these videos and want more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell so you can be the first in line. Number 1. Find problems and solve them. It's easy to find a trend that's popular and try and jump on it because others have been successful in the past, but not if you're solving problems. Why should anyone care about your brand? One of the most important business lessons to learn from Musk's much publicized journey is that the world will almost always reward those who solve problems. The most productive and profitable businesses focus on their products and services rather than simply chase fame, money, and glory. Musk once said, "Going from PayPal, I thought, well, what are some of the other problems that are likely to affect the future of humanity? Not from the perspective, what's the best way to make money?" This simple but effective way of thinking led him to create Tesla Motors. Electric cars have been trying to bypass traditional combustion engine vehicles for years, but it wasn't until Tesla made their impact that the concept really took off, and electric cars now have the potential to be better than traditional fuel-powered cars instead of just being as good as. They capitalized on the desire to have more sustainable and less fuel-intensive transportation, and by listening to what consumers were crying out for as instead of just focused on profit, Tesla found an untapped business opportunity. If you solve a problem the world has first, profit will always follow. Number 2. Push through the tough times. Although it may look like it from the outside, Elon's journey to becoming the richest man on planet Earth hasn't exactly been smooth. In fact, it's mostly been far from it. In one of his first ventures in the early days, he was demoted from his position as CEO down to Chief Technology Officer by the other investors at Zip2, despite the fact that he started the company with his brother. In 2002, he once again lost his position at the top whilst CEO of PayPal. Even more difficult, this all happened whilst he was on his honeymoon. Pretty rough, right? Even Tesla's had its fair share of tough times, despite being hugely successful now. Back in 2003, the launch of Tesla's first electric car, the Roadster, was delayed, and the company faced serious financial issues, becoming moments away from shutting down. Musk then had to put his entire life savings into Tesla in order to keep the business and the launch afloat. He also faced a number of challenges with SpaceX as the brand's first 3 launches failed, and major doubt began to creep into many of its investors' minds. SpaceX was down to its last chance, only having enough funds for a single launch as it was on the verge of going bankrupt. However, they decided to persevere, and thankfully, the 4th launch was a huge success, landing SpaceX a contract from NASA for $1.6 billion. Showing just how important it is to stick to your guns. Musk has been quoted many times as saying, "Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up." Once again, this counts for all walks of life, but especially in business. Make sure you keep your head down, stick to the plan, and you'll reap all the rewards no matter how difficult things get. Number 3. Always think big. From a simple web app that provided and licensed online city guide software to newspapers, to commercial spaceflight and plans to colonize Mars, there's no denying the SpaceX founder knows how to shoot for the stars, quite literally. Never allow yourself to be constrained by small ideas or smaller people. Always aim as high as you possibly can and then make it happen no matter what. You never know what the results may be. Number 4. Actively take constructive criticism on board. Understandably, many of us try our best to avoid criticism. We would much rather enjoy compliments than hear where our faults lay with us or the things that we do. However, this can actually do more harm than good, even if it does feel uncomfortable. When speaking initially with engineers during the original development of the Tesla, Musk asked them not to tell him what they liked, but instead tell him what was wrong with his designs. This allowed him to learn from his mistakes and fix them instead of basking in compliments. Look for constructive criticism and learn from it. This is a valuable lesson in all walks of life, not just meant for business. Number 5. Always have an exit plan. If Elon had rested on his laurels and stuck with PayPal, he'd likely still be famous and successful. But can you imagine how different the world would be? And it's very unlikely he'd be the richest man in the world. Luckily, he knew a long time ago that he didn't need to stick with his own startups to become successful. In 1995, he founded Zip2, and in 1998, sold it to Compaq for $307 million, netting himself a cool $22 million. He was now young, rich, and free to do whatever he chose, and that led him to founding X.com. Following this, he once again jumped ship after a few years, selling PayPal to eBay in 2002 for a cool $1.5 billion. For his shares, he made a pretty nice $165 million. This ties pretty nicely into our next point. Number 6. Be sure to reinvest. It might seem like a big risk to sell the business you've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into, but there's plenty of examples of entrepreneurs succeeding with this route. It's tempting to want to spoil yourself with nice houses, cars, and watches once you've tasted success, but although it's hard to get to the top, it's even harder to stay there. Be sure to reinvest your financial gains back into your business ventures, whether they're current or future. Number 7. Allow yourself to fail. We've all seen the now popular Cybertruck video where Elon had planned to demonstrate the sheer strength of the vehicle's windows by throwing a metal bowl at it, only to find it shatter embarrassingly in front of him in a huge room full of watching eyes. Most brands would have panicked and passed the blame on to someone else, but Elon owned it and calmly continued his demonstration, eventually making the Cybertruck one of the most talked about vehicles of 2019 and giving a genuine sense of humanity to the CEO. Failing means you're stepping into the unknown and taking risks, which is the only way to move forward in life. Number 8. Use social media to your advantage. What may seem to some like something to keep you busy when you're slacking at the office actually can be the make or break of your business venture. For instance, Musk's hilariously titled Boring Company managed to sell an astonishing 20,000 units of his $500 flamethrower, all thanks to a few well-planned videos and posts featuring the company's branding. The stunt netted his new venture a cool $10 million in less than a full week. Musk is well known for his Twitter account antics and is rarely afraid to take the time to explain what he's up to, what he hopes to accomplish, and how his products work. This makes Tesla and many of his other ventures feel more like the people's company rather than faceless corporations, even if they are netting millions of dollars in profit each year. Number 9. Express your passion. The days of super serious business types are long gone, and Elon Musk is certainly part of the new guard of young, exciting, and genuinely interesting entrepreneurs less interested in boardroom meetings and spreadsheets, and more focused on changing the world, achieving their dreams, and working to make the world a better place. Musk is known for taking time out of his day to geek out with people on the projects he's working on. He's worked incredibly hard to make his dreams come true, but has never lost that balance between big picture and small details. If you've ever seen his demonstration of the Tesla product line, you can easily tell that he knows exactly what each machine does and how each car is put together. Pretty rare for a billionaire CEO. If you hear him talking about SpaceX, you can easily tell that this is someone who genuinely cares not only about space travel and exploration, but about the impact his brand will make on future generations and the world as we know it. This passionate approach makes you much more appealing to not only consumers, but generations of people who want to follow in your footsteps, meaning you'll be remembered for more than just your financial status or the products you've sold. It's clear that this level of transparency and realism has been part of his playbook since day one, and he's never been shy to admit it, showing just how important it is to take pride in your work and what you do, because it speaks to others on a level beyond just simple sales pitch. The Tesla genius has carved out a path for himself as one of the world's most successful CEOs because he simply didn't play by the typical rules all the time and just did what he wanted by following his heart. Throwing out the rule book, doing crazy social media stunts, or manufacturing flamethrowers may not be your average path to success, but it's clearly something the man wanted and allowed himself to follow his heart. Give it a shot. It might just change your life. Number 10. Hire people you want to be around. Who you go to battle with is one of the most important things in the world of business, even if it sometimes doesn't seem like it. There are millions of people out there who have skills, qualifications, and experience to back it up, but if there's no passion in the room when you're all hashing out ideas, you're doomed to fail. Elon is often famously quoted as saying, "My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart." The climb to the top in the world of business can be one of the most difficult things in the world. Be sure that the people around you are on the same path and the same page. So there you have it. We hoped you liked the video. Be sure to drop us a comment below if you've learned anything from this video, or if you think Elon has more game-changing plans in the near future. Maybe we missed out on something important. Regardless, be sure to let us know, and until next time, take care.